What's up, everyone? How are you? It's me. It's Chris Spade over at Keller Williams Realty. Just so you all know, I have messages on so you can contact me directly and I'll answer some of your questions. But I wanted to jump on here for a hot second and talk to you guys about, first of all, what happens when you're a seller and you counter highest and best. What does that mean? So you've got to be very careful, which this also goes back to hiring a skilled agent that is going to help you get through the process of making sure that you don't get locked into something you don't want to. So when you counter offer highest and best on a property that you're selling, you have to make sure that you're counter offering that highest and best on what's called a seller multiple counter offer, which is a form called SMCO. Because what happens if you don't do that? So if you counter offer buyers on an SMCO, which is a seller multiple counter offer, that means you are sending that notice out to all the buyers out there that you are counter offering all of them their highest and best offer that they've got to get back to you, and then you can make a decision on which offer you choose. Now, obviously this is in California, so it's not in other parts of the country. I don't know what other parts of the country are like, but I'm sure each state has something similar. So if you are going to do that and you're going to counteroffer highest and best, then you need to make sure here in California it's on an SMCO, which stands for a seller multiple counter offer. Now, if you send out a highest and best on just a regular counter offer, so there's two different types of counter offers you can give in California. One's the seller multiple counter offer, which means you're counter offering multiple people at the same time. Like you've had multiple people write an offer on your property and you are sending that out to multiple people. If you just send the counter offer, the seller counter offer out, and you counter offer highest and best, let's say for example, you're selling your home for $850,000 and somebody comes back and they write you an offer for $750,000. It's $100,000 less. And let's say you send out a counter offer, just a regular counter offer, which is called an SCO. So there's a difference, the SCO and the SMCO. But if you send out the SCO, the seller counter offer, with highest and best, and the buyer signs that, you're under contract for $750,000. So this is where skill comes in as an agent. So, I know there's a lot of people out there who are looking to get a deal on their house and when it comes to hiring an agent for the commission, but skill also plays a big part of this. Because that's $100,000 difference. It doesn't really matter what the difference is. It's a difference in what you're going to have to pay. And so you could be locked into that contract if the buyer signs it and you don't quickly withdraw that offer. You could be locked into selling your house for $750,000 because it could be argued that you now have a contract for $750,000. So there are a lot of great agents out there. However, some of the things that I'm seeing, skill is in this market. People are moving so fast because houses are selling so fast that sometimes people aren't paying attention. When I send out counter offers, I'm checking them 2, 3, 4 times. Even though I've been doing this 15 years, I'm still checking them 2, 3, 4 times and sending them out. Making sure that they're correct, making sure, double checking, reading it. Did I check certain boxes? And that's the person you want on your side. So be careful. So whoever you're working with, if you're selling your house, make sure that if you're sending out a counter offer, I always say just counter on a price. Don't counter on highest and best. Highest and best I mean, like your highest and best might be $750,000 on an $850,000 house, and look at you, because there was someone who wasn't skilled enough to catch that. You could be selling your house for $100,000 less. So that's my first tip to all of you. Now, the second thing I want to talk to you about is a lot of people are releasing a lot of contingencies. Buyers are releasing a lot of contingencies up front just to get their offers accepted. So sometimes they're offering exorbitant amounts of money on an offer. So like, let's say the $850,000 example, they might be offering $1 million. They might be waiving their appraisal. And so what does that mean as a buyer? So if you're waiving your appraisal as a buyer, that means that you are obligating yourself to make the purchase on this property regardless of what the appraised value of the property is. So let's say it's $850,000 the list price, but you offer $1 million, that's $150,000, which means, let's say you're doing 20% down. 20% of $1 million is $200,000. Okay, so you're putting that $200,000. You say, I've got the $200,000. But if the house only appraises at $900,000, now it's $180,000. But you have to come with the 20% plus the gap to cover your cost of the appraisal. But let's say that, well, let's use this example. Let's say you do 1.1 million, but you don't have that extra $100,000 to cover. You're still obligated to make the purchase of that property because you removed your appraisal contingency. And so what I'm advising buyers to do is, yes, we need to put our best foot forward. And if you have the funds to remove your appraisal contingency, we can do that. But you have to know that it's risky. There is a level of risk involved. And I'll give you a market analysis on the property as if you were the seller and we were going to sell this house, the one you're going to buy. So that's one of the things that I do. I give you a market analysis so you know the numbers. So for example, one of my offers I wrote, the house was listed at $950,000. We offered $1,050,000, which I thought was very fair. My clients put a significant amount of money down. I think it was 40%. So we were okay with removing the appraisal contingency because even if it didn't appraise, there was still enough money that was being put down that the gap wouldn't have made a difference for them. That's one thing. If not, you need to make sure that you have the gap that covers that delta, which then brings me to the seller. Is it always a better offer if the buyer is removing their appraisal contingency? And the truth is it's not. It's not always the better offer. You have to look at a multitude of things. You have to look at the type of financing someone's doing. You have to look at their proof of funds. That's the other thing you need to make sure that you're looking at as a seller. Have your agent get the proof of funds from the buyer to make sure that they actually have the money. I have gotten people to release their appraisal contingency, but when I ask for proof of funds, they don't have enough money to come to the table to close if the property didn't appraise. So you might get that higher offer, but it might not be worth it. So you need to get proof of funds. Time frame on closing. Is the closing going to be earlier? Is the closing going to be later? Those are all things that you want to look for. Have you cut down your inspection time frames, your HOA document time frames if you're buying in an HOA? So all these things you want to take a look at, and you want to take a look at the complete picture. So the highest offer is not necessarily the best offer, and the offer that gets the appraisal contingency removed right away is not necessarily the best offer to accept. There could be flaws within that. So that is my TED Talk for today, ladies and gentlemen, my real estate TED Talk. So if you have any information whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to help. I want to be a resource for you. Been selling in San Diego for 15 years. So if you have any questions, just reach out. I make a lot of these videos because I want you guys to be able to make sense of the real estate market. I want you guys to know what's going on in this market because this market is crazy. I've been doing this, like I said, 15 years. I have never once seen a market like this. It is bananas. So thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk, everyone. Hope you have a great day. If you have any questions, shoot me a call, give me a call, shoot me a text. send me a direct message, 619-818-2992. Ciao, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.